Joining us now is Cherie DeMayo, who is the founder and chief marketeer of SLD Unlimited Marketing and PR firm, as well as the author of Me, Myself, and Inc., and John Dressler, the owner of Dressler's Restaurant, which is in Brookdale Village.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Now, I had met Cherie recently at Dressler's doing a book signing, and I was really intrigued by this book. It had a lot of really interesting information, and as business owners, we always struggle with that, the balance, and here it's really not balance, it's more of a synergy. So tell me a little bit about your background and how you came to write a book like this.
Well, my background, I'm actually celebrating 25 years with my business this year, and have always worked with entrepreneurs. That's just where my passion lied, right when I started my business right out of college. Crazy, typical entrepreneur. And I guess it's about 15 years ago that I, as an entrepreneur myself, determined that the balance thing just wasn't working. And so I changed my approach to things, and as a result, just working with my clients, did the same thing. Started looking at their personal goals as well as their business goals, all as one big pool. And because I was seeing their frustration as well. I was seeing a lot of entrepreneurs that either were happy in life or happy in their work or not happy in either one because they were constantly being pulled in all directions. And I said, okay, the reason you're feeling pulled in all directions is because I've realized it's because we're trying to balance work and life, and you can't balance work and life because you're really trying to pull all the aspects of who you are together, and those are me, myself, and Inc., and you can't divide 3 by 2. That's why it's so frustrating. And so once I started looking at all those aspects of who I was and then started helping entrepreneurs look at those aspects, that's when exciting things started happening in their businesses, and I started really looking at companies out there, and you see some of them featured in the book that are doing it right, like Ben & Jerry's and some of those that just got it. They just naturally got the whole synergy thing. And so that's what kind of propelled me to write the book, because I saw that we're still all trying to balance, and yet we're frustrated by it. So, and I wasn't seeing anything addressing that. So that's why I wrote the book.
When you went and you looked at all these various businesses that were working well, did you do that first and from that kind of deduce what they were doing in common that made it work well, or did you first, from your own experience, kind of come up with your theory about how it worked and then tested it against
the latter?
Case studies?
The latter. You know, I kind of had this epiphany and just determined that this is how I was going to approach things and how I was going to try to work with others as a result. And then it was only after starting to write the book that I went to look for some national examples and things, because I had plenty of local examples and companies I'd worked with over 25 years.
Well, I think you've got 35 different case studies in here. But what I love about your approach is you bring it all the way down to the baseline. What are your goals? Why are those your goals? Are they somebody else's goals? Are they really your goals? And, and start to map out the whole process. And I love John's story. So tell us a little bit how you got together, and your story is more in there about how what you did worked.
Oh yeah, he's just a natural. He's a natural.
And you know, he's definitely got the synergy going on, because he's dressed to go play golf today.
Dressed for the part.
That's right.
Well, Cherie comes by the restaurant, and she approached me one day and said, do you mind if I come one afternoon and just ask you for a couple of quotes? So I said, sure, absolutely. Everyone loves to espouse their wisdom on others. So she came by and we started chatting, and I gave her a couple of quotes, and she said, no, keep going, keep going. I asked a few questions, keep going, and she just kept jotting notes, and we wound up talking for 45 minutes to an hour, and she phoned and a couple of days later and said, I'm going to make a whole chapter on your story in the book, which I thought was very flattering and very neat. So that's,
I actually yanked somebody else out for him.
Did you?
Yeah, and I've been a long time patron of Dressler's too, so I was already impressed, and I just had this feeling, just based on the passion and the mentality of his entire team, because that's something that's very evident in these companies, is it just becomes contagious, and everyone that's a part of them is as if they're the entrepreneur themselves as well. Yeah.
You set the whole environment, and one thing I love is how all of the staff has dinner together before they start working. And it's kind of just a little powwow. Everybody eats. The chef makes a meal just for the
Chef
staff.
makes a meal every night at 4:30, and it actually goes back to really more of a long-standing theory that we have, that it's impossible to get passionate about food and to talk about food if you have an empty stomach.
Everything tastes good.
Everything tastes good. So it's kind of odd, because we eat dinner every night at 4:30. It's more of a retirement hour for us, but it's neat. We get to spend some time together because we spend 35, 40 hours a week with each other, and as you all know in your busy lives, oftentimes we don't get to spend 35, 40 hours a week with our family. So for us, a restaurant is family, and we've always treated it as such, and part of family is sharing dinner every night together. So it's a privilege, we think.
One of the things that interested me too was that there were a couple core principles that you guided everything by, all your decision making, and stuck to those. And I was just wondering if you could tell the viewers what those are and how important that was to the restaurant turning out the way it did.
Absolutely. We actually I just had a discussion with my manager the other day about it. He brought something to my attention that staff wasn't too thrilled about. So we govern our decision making by, does it adversely affect the guest experience? And if the answer is no, then we move forward. The second question is, does it adversely affect team morale? And again, if the answer is no, then we move forward. And then the third and last question we always ask is, does it cost us money? And if the answer to the first two questions is no, but it costs us money, we don't mind to spend money to take care of the staff or to take care of the guests, as long as it doesn't adversely affect the guest experience or the team morale. We empower our staff to do whatever they think is the right thing. We don't micromanage, and this is what we teach all throughout our life and all throughout my career in the restaurant business. Is your job as an owner or as a manager or whatever you want to give yourself a title as, is to remove all the obstacles for your people so that they can accomplish what it is that you're trying to accomplish. And for us, we're trying to feed people great food in a warm atmosphere and make it fun for everyone. So what we do is we get all the obstacles out of the way, and then everyone can enjoy themselves and feed people.